Dr. Roy here for Just Desserts. ChatGPT is that snarky friend you didn't know that you needed. I put my dissertation in earlier this week into ChatGPT to provide that snarky analysis. Look at my title. It's the academic equivalent of plain oatmeal. Your title is technically correct and precise, and it's completely incapable of generating excitement. The setup, 30 pages to say remote work exists. The introduction spends a heroic amount of effort providing and proving that remote work is real. The problem statement, the most polite way possible to say, nobody actually studied this in the real world. The literature review is a parade of dead scholars. All it does is pay homage to Ryan and Detke, mention self-determination theory, and quote empowerment frameworks from the 1980s. My sample size is only 10 people, which is perfectly normal for qualitative work, but let's be honest about what that means statistically. The opinions of roughly one medium-sized fantasy football league. What about my findings? Managers do manager things. Your findings boil down to three empowerment themes: setting expectations, providing autonomy, and encouraging risk-taking. And the motivation themes are growth and learning, problem solving, organizational purpose, and personal interest, which leads to the earth-shattering conclusions that employees like autonomy and meaningful work and growth. Somewhere, Frederick Herzberg is whispering from the grave, yeah, I said that in 1968. The virtual leadership angle, the slight twist, where your dissertation actually becomes more interesting is here, because you're basically arguing the same leadership principles still apply in virtual teams, which is surprisingly important because a lot of management gurus act like remote work requires inventing an entirely new leadership species. The methodology section, the ritual of academic self-defense. Chapter 3 reads like you're preparing for cross-examination in court. You carefully explain all the different parts, limitations, delimitations, assumptions, interview design, transcription methods, and in vivo coding. In other words, please don't attack my research, dear committee. And the most honest part of the dissertation, the limitations section, I basically admit I had a small sample size, subjective interviews, limited generalizability. This is academic speak for this study will not solve leadership. And finally, the real contribution. Despite my roasting, your dissertation does actually do something useful. You studied real leaders in real organizations, not students pretending to be managers in a lab. That alone puts it ahead in a shocking amount of organizational research, which might actually be the most interesting and fulfilling part of this snarky analysis is that over the course of the years, the 3 years of classwork and then the 3 years of writing my dissertation, as a listener, you'd be shocked to hear about the number of academic articles that were written by those in academia that used convenient samples of students in classrooms to write most of their dissertation research. This to me feels like the equivalent of maybe some ethical boundaries in terms of not even trying to find practitioners when you're studying something like leadership and organizations to then actually use data and use information from your own students or from students within your own academic setting. It just seems like the easy way out. So, in conclusion, it says my dissertation demonstrates that remote work increased dramatically, leadership still matters, empowerment increases intrinsic motivation, and managers who trust employees tend to get better engagement. So basically, don't micromanage people just because they work from home. So anyways, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. If you want to take a look at the actual prompt that I use, it was through ChatGPT, feeding it my dissertation and saying, can you provide me with a snarky analysis of my dissertation? Don't hold back. Good luck. See ya.